What's up, everybody? Once again, you are back and you are listening to the Intro Dallas podcast. I'm excited, and I'm going to tell you guys why. This is our first live show, and it's about to be interesting, to say the least. It's got to be interesting. Why? It's because we've never done a live interactive show before, to where as we are taping this show for a podcast, you can log on and you can chat with us. That's something all in itself. Man, I'm excited to have you guys with us, those who are going to log on and chat with us. Let me know where you're from, what you're doing, and all of that other stuff, because I want to make sure that people know who you are. Let's talk about today's show sponsor. Yes, I'm excited. We have a sponsor for today's show, Diane Clines, an independent associate with Legalshield. Legalshield offers legal services starting at $29.95 and identity theft starting at $19.95. They provide a will, living will, and will help with moving violations, contract reviews, consultations, and so much more. Let me just stop before I go any further and let you guys know. Not only do they advertise or sponsor these shows, but I have actually had to use this service. You all know they were giving out these stimulus checks, and I was excited because I needed the money. I couldn't work. Everything was down, and you couldn't make no money. So they were giving out these stimulus checks, and push came to shove, and I deposited my stimmy into the bank, and I was actually changing banks from Bank of America I was changing from another bank into Bank of America, and I had already cashed the check on the check, whatever. So I had cash. I put the cash in the ATM. ATM completely malfunctioned. I called Bank of America and told them, and Bank of America was like, "Oh, we don't even have a record that you was even there, so we can't do anything for you." I tripped out for a minute because I didn't remember that I was a Legalshield member. I didn't realize it, or I just didn't remember at the time. But I remembered I had assistance from a company that could do for me what I couldn't do for myself. And I called Legalshield, and we done our meetings, phone calls or whatever. One thing led to another, and I was able to get all my money back. Yeah, they gave me all my money back. I was excited about that because who needed the money was me. You have to understand, we was in a time where wasn't nobody getting no money. So again, anything that you may need legal assistance for, I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line you'll need them, especially if you like to drive fast and you get moving violations. Again, moving violations, contract renewals, consultations, wills, living wills, and all that other good stuff. Once again, call Diane Clines with Legalshield at 214-881-5225 or go to dsclines.ladiesofjustice.com, or I think you can just go to dsclines.com also to get that service for you and your family. Today's show is really good, but I'm really scared because again, this is our first time doing something live as we are taping, so I hope everything works out right. Y'all pray for me. In the meantime, in between time, let's get into the show. And we're back with the Intro Dallas podcast. It's your boy Taz, and I'm excited to have you guys join me on today. This is the second show of the third season. We made it to the third season. If you didn't catch the first show, do me a favor. You need to catch that. We had George Blamo. He gave us some insight about his journey in acting. He is a very dope guy. I need you guys to check that one out. And any of our previous seasons or previous episodes, you can check those out also. You can search us wherever you look for your podcast at the Intro Podcast, or you can go to spotlightmedia. At ilovethespotlight.com. We're going to be linking another domain to that to make it easier for you guys to find also. Man, yeah, thanks for coming, y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for chatting whenever y'all do come in. I love Black excellence or Black progress, but everybody doesn't think the same. I'm sorry. I just have to say it, have to put it out there. We know that there is sometimes a struggle for us as African Americans or brown and Black individuals to progress in America, and people will do whatever they can to try to keep us down, but for some reason we keep on raising up. I was very, very shocked to find out recently that one of my new favorite talk shows is being canceled. And I am coming from the HollywoodReporter.com, and they are talking about the Nick Cannon show being canceled. And it reads, Nick Cannon's talk show will be ending after this first season. The syndicated daytime show titled Nick Cannon has been canceled, with Thursday being the final day of production. Staffers were informed on Thursday about the cancellation as the show prepared to head into an already planned 5-week hiatus, the Hollywood Reporter has learned. The season will continue to air as planned through May with pre-taped episodes. It goes to say, it's never easy to cancel a production with clear potential, but after a great deal of deliberation and examining various options, we have made the difficult business decision to end production on Nick Cannon, Mart Marcus and Ira Bernstein, co-presidents of Delmar Mercury, the series Lionsgate-owned producer-distributor, said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. We plan to offer viewers original episodes of the daytime talk show through the remainder of this season. Our thanks go to the very talented Nick Cannon and our wonderful production team, and we wish Nick continued success with his many hit ventures. Of course he has a lot of hit ventures. He's Nick Cannon. Oh my goodness. So for me, I'm going to tell you guys why I'm bothered by this. They didn't even give my dude a full year to prove that he's able to do what we all know that he can do, which is provide dope TV. Look at what he's done with MTV with Wildin' Out. I think that without Wildin' Out, I don't really know too many other shows that are having that kind of success on that kind of platform. I don't really know. I can't get into the specifics of why they would decide to cancel the show. I do believe that there's definitely something behind it that we don't know, though. And we'll probably never hear until somewhere later on down the line where either Nick will say something or somebody else will. I just believe that we deserve the same opportunity that the other people who are not us get, if that makes any sense. Like I said, they didn't even give Nick Cannon a full year to prove that he's able to do what we all know that he's fully capable of doing, or at least what I know he's fully capable of doing. Nick has, within the 6 months or however short time of period he's been on TV, he's had the opportunity. He's shown us a lot of ups, and he's shown us a lot of his main down, which was the death of his son. And I still give condolences as I'm looking at a Nick Cannon picture in my sound booth right now. Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick. Everybody say, hey, Nick. That theme song was dope. He showed how that theme song became what it was. Also, shouts out to his kids. All 50-11 of them. If nothing else, Nick Cannon do believe in making babies. But again, I don't think they gave him the appropriate amount of time to prove that he's more than capable. When I say more than capable, he's more than capable of making sure that good TV was provided. He had a lot of my favorite guests. I know he had Karen Clark Sheard there. He started having a regular in which I listen to her every single day religiously, talking about Angela Yee from The Breakfast Club. You can catch that podcast and radio show on the iHeart Radio. Just go to The Breakfast Club. You'll love it because I do. They talk about everything. He had, I want to say MC Light was on, and it wasn't necessarily just the African American. You know, he had people from all walks of life. He was in the community with haircuts and interviewing just regular people about everyday things. I just hate the fact that his show was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there's not too much you can do as opposed to building your viewing audience. I don't know the difference in a live viewing audience and an audience that will have it on DVR or will record it and watch it after work. But I just think even just because the show was at 1 o'clock, that there should have been more time given for him to be able to prove that he's able to do what he do in media. And then I think like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, that same show from the previous day airs again. But again, 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody sleep because we have to get up for work. So a lot of people who probably would have watched the show just didn't have the ability to watch the show because the timing sucked, and I guess the network just don't want to give him that opportunity. Number one, that opportunity to bring in some money, because Nick is a money making blah, 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 blah. I mean, like I said, look at everything that he's already doing in TV and film and movies and all this. He's hot. And almost, well, I'm not going to say almost. Everything that I've seen him touch turns to gold. So why they were not able to give him the opportunity to show that he can do this like everyone else can, and probably better, it gets the best of me. But again, we don't necessarily get the opportunity like other people get to prove who we are and what we know we can do. Which leads into the other part of the conversation, where a lot of the fact that we are not able to prove is because we don't know the business. We get into business with people who don't necessarily have our best interest at heart. They are really into it because they hear what we say. But while they hearing what we say, their mind is very far from actually supporting us in a matter of making sure that we all succeed. Which is why it's very important that whatever industry you get in, whether it's music, TV, acting, film, health, politics, whatever, that you get in and you understand the business part of it. For me, I can talk more about music because that's my forte. That's what I do. A lot of individuals who get into the music business, not understanding the music business, like a lot of especially young people from the hood, or young people who didn't grow up necessarily with the silver spoon in their mouth. Like, all they see is someone is saying that you a dope singer, you're a dope rapper, you're a dope producer. Sign this piece of paper and we're going to give you this much money. And they jump into it not knowing that contract also say, not only am I giving you X amount of money, but you have to pay back X amount of money. Which reminds me of, I know I watched the New Edition story on BET over and over and over again. And there was a time where the parents were talking to the manager and was asking them where their kids' money was. They were saying, our sons are number one on the chart. They're traveling on tours and all of this, but at the end of the day, they have no money. In other words, they don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So what are you supposed to do with that? Well, the manager explained that, okay, no, they've been doing good, but they have to pay money back. Yeah, they made a lot of money by, the tours and the chart topping or whatever. But whenever we signed them, we gave them X amount of money. I know back in the day, it probably wasn't as much, nowhere near as much as it is now. But they'll tell you off the top, we gave X amount of money, but that money had to be paid back. I said all that just to go into the next story. There is a podcast that I need every business person that is a business person, whether you're in business now for yourself or you're looking to go into business for yourself. I need you to search and find the Earn and Leisure podcast. You can find it. I know it's for sure. It's on iHeartRadio and it's on Audible. This entire podcast is an educational podcast that will teach you the ins and outs about just about everything. Well, recently on an episode of the Earn Your Leisure podcast, they had the one and only Mr. Steve Harvey on their show. And they the question was asked to Steve Harvey, a word of advice that he would give to young people or just people in general that's getting in business for the first time. Do me a favor, we'll be right back and we will actually let you guys hear what Steve Harvey had to say. Once again, you are listening to the Intro Podcast. Let's go. What's up, everybody? And you are listening to the Intro Dallas Podcast. We are back, and I appreciate you guys for being a part of today's show. Look, today's show, once again, is sponsored by, let's go to this sponsor. I gotta let y'all know, because she sponsored the show, and I'm excited about it. Miss Diane Clines, Independent Associate with Legalshield. Legalshield services starting at $29.95 and identity theft starting at $19.95. Provide so many things from they provide a will, a living will. They help with moving violations, contract reviews, consultations, and so much more. For more information about that, do me a favor and contact Ms. Diane Clines at 214-881-5225, or you can go to dsclines.ladiesofjustice.com, or just go to dsclines.com. Just in case you don't get those links, just look in the description. You can find everything there. But yes, let's talk about it. Steve Harvey, his advice on what you should do getting into business. This is one of the most valuable lessons anyone ever needs to hear. Let's go to Earn Your Leisure.
And like we've had conversations with like some Hollywood companies, and we talked about the back end and stuff like that. So it's interesting that you say that. So like, what are some things that you learned as far as like, do you always try to negotiate like, or just for young people that's coming up, like EP credit or like get paid up front or some level of ownership? Like, what are some terms? I feel like a lot of people just don't know the information, and you can't even ask a question if you're not equipped with some level of knowledge.
The best thing I can tell you is, if you have an idea, before you go around the town pitching this idea, have your paperwork in order. Make sure you have the domains for that name. Make sure you have the IPs, any trademarks. Before you walk around pitching your idea, have everything on paper. Get your trademarks, get your IP, because that's it, ownership. Nobody's done it better than Tyler Perry. This guy right here is complete ownership of everything he do. So when he go to Hollywood, he can do it the way he want to. See, it took me a while to learn that part of it, man. I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't know how this is going to go with the country, but this is a long time ago in the 90s, I created a show on the WB called Steve Harvey's Big Time. Do you know what Steve Harvey's Big Time was? Because they didn't believe me when I told them, y'all ought to take Showtime at the Apollo and put it on mainstream TV instead of having me come on at 1 o'clock in the morning. I used to tell them that. Yeah. No, you can't do that. No. So I said, well, let me give them a version of it. I said, let me create Steve Harvey's Big Time. So I went to the fledgling network, WB, and they put it on. I didn't have the business of it. I should have owned the IP, the trademark. So you know what Steve Harvey's Big Time was? I had acts from all over the world come on the show. I had 3 judges, and I had a host. That stayed on TV 2 years. It ended May 10th, 2005. I was in the middle of a divorce. My head was clouded. I didn't have the business. Along comes a show called America's Got Talent.
I was going to say that, yep.
Exactly. You know what America's Got Talent is? Shows come from all over the world, different acts. They got 3 judges, and they got a star. Well, guess what? That's my IP. That's my concept. That's my whole thought. But I ain't had no business for it. Look, man, the first year of America's Got Talent was all acts from Steve Harvey's Big Time. And they took all the producers I had from Steve Harvey's Big Time and gave them jobs. If I understood my business, America's Got Talent would belong to me. And Steve Harvey would not be sitting here talking to y'all.
Now listen to that. As I was saying, it's important for us to know the business behind everything we do, because people will make you feel or make you think that what you really know, you don't know. Or what you say that you know is going to be successful, or what you know is going to work, they'll make you feel or make you think it's not going to work because they know it will, but they don't want to give you the credit for it. I'm pretty sure that whenever Steve Harvey went to these individuals and told them what he wanted to do and why the time should be changed, XYZ, yada, 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 they already knew in their mind what they were going to do. They already knew that we're going to tell him no, but we're going to go to and get them to do the same exact thing. I'm pretty sure that while sitting down in the meeting, Steve probably said something that let them know that he probably didn't have everything in order. He didn't have the paperwork. He didn't have the IP, whatever. It's like they probably knew he didn't have it. I'm just saying. And in knowing he didn't have it, let's backdoor. They knew he didn't have it, but they knew it was a great idea. People know that your ideal is good, but they also know if you know the business behind it. Especially if they know the business behind it, because there's certain things you're going to say, certain paperwork you're going to have, or whatever to prove. I'm pretty sure that while in these meetings and with Steve doing the pitch, they probably listened to him. And at one point in time after the meeting, Steve walked out and they probably looked at themselves and said, okay, he has no clue what he's doing. So let's tell him that it's not going to work. And we're going to decide to they didn't even change the game. They just changed the name. It reminds me of an episode of Living Single. Is it? Living Single. No, it's an episode of Martin. Whenever Pam wanted to get the job at the record company, and she was talking to one of the PRs because he was in a jam where he needed to get he needed an idea to promote or something like that, to promote a CD case or whatever. And Pam gave him the idea of what to do. And he told Pam, nah, that's garbage. We ain't using that. Yeah, get out of here. And then 5 seconds later, the boss comes up and asks him, do you have anything to present to me to promote this artist, to promote this CD? Well, the guy looks over his shoulder and see Pam standing behind him and moves a little closer to the boss and speaks real low and literally tells the boss Pam's idea, but as his own. That's how we have to deal with people on a daily basis. And it's a shame. Like, I was talking to my uncle tonight about this situation, and I explained to him, I know that in business, I'm going to have to do business with people who I don't necessarily want to do business with. I know that there are people who I'm going to have to sit down and talk with and give them, basically give them my vision. But what this Steve Harvey interview taught me is, before I go into these meetings, there are some things that I have to have in line, some things I have to have in order, some things I have to understand. From watching all of these movies from a while ago, whether it be the TLC movie or the New Edition movie or any other movie from music artists who got in the game and were really big and really dope and really hot but didn't make any money, I learned to read contracts. But even now, even for the music game, a lot of people now, they're not even signing to labels because they understand that, okay, I can do this by myself and make a lot more money. It may not come as fast, but if I stay in the game long enough, I can really make some good money. Steve, also another part of the interview, he was explaining where a lot of the money go before you, the person, even see it. And it's amazing how we see $1 million. No, let's not even go that far. We'll see somebody say they're worth $100,000 or whatever, or they get $100,000 for a show. But what we don't see or we don't understand behind the door is everyone that has to get paid before you actually see your part of that $100,000. But then whenever you get the money, you're often looking and you're like, what's going on? Like, I thought I was getting this. Again, it goes back to understanding the business. It goes back to understanding where you are and what you know and what you don't know. Information is super, super valuable, and it's super important regardless to what you're doing in life, whether you're a doctor, whether you're working at McDonald's, whether you're working at Taco Bell, in which I'm not eating there anymore because they gave me food poisoning. I'm just not doing it no more. But you have to know the game fully. Even in my current business, my current career that I'm doing with this, the broadcasting and podcast, and even in the music industry, I've learned to know every single part of the business. Why you want to do that, Troy? I'm glad you asked, because I need to know what's going on and what it's worth so no one else can tell me what it's worth. Let me say that again. I have to know what's going on in my business and what it's worth so that can't no one else tell me what it's worth. I also have to know what's going on just in case if other people that are in place fall out of place and no longer want to be in place. I have to be able to pick up the slack and still make this thing happen. I still have to drive this ship. Still have to drive this bus. I still have to make this work. Excuse me. So it's important that I know all areas of the business or all areas of the industry that I want to be in. Same for you. As Steve said, it's very important that you know everything that there is to know, or as much as you can. But there are some parts of the business that you just automatically have to take care of before you just jump out there, because in his situation, because he didn't have that stuff lined up, they were able to tell him no and then recreate the same exact thing and give him absolutely no credit for it. That sucks. Like, that really, really sucks. Hey, I'll be right back in just a minute. Got to pay some bills, but you're listening to the Intro Dallas podcast. I'm sorry, the Intro podcast. We took Dallas out. You're listening to the Intro podcast. And we are back with the Intro podcast. It's your boy Taz. I thank you guys so much for being a part of today's show, those who are listening. If you're listening after the fact, I need you guys to know something that we have just been able to start doing, and that's live broadcasting while we are taping, and which is what we're doing now. I wanted to try something new. It's 1:53 a.m. so I didn't necessarily depend on having a lot of people listening or online, but with the live taping that we are doing on our social medias, you are able to log on, listen, but not only listen, you can actually chat with us in the chat box and let us know what you feel about or how you feel about everything that we're talking about. And of course, we're going to read all the comments, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're going to say your name. So do me a favor and just stay up to date with us on when we're going to be doing these live shows. You can find us on Facebook at the Intro Dallas podcast, and then also the Intro podcast. And on YouTube, I want to say it's Spotlight Universal Network, but we're going to change that also to the Intro. But for right now, Spotlight Universal Network. Today's show is sponsored by, we actually have a real sponsor. We have a sponsor of today's show. Diane Clines Independent Associate with Legalshield. Legalshield offers legal services starting at $29.95 and identity theft starting at $19.95. They also provide a will, living will, and much more. They also help with moving violations, contract review, and consultation. This not only covers just you, the person that's listening, but your entire household. So do me a favor, just in case something happens, you need to have this in place. Do me a favor and call Miss Diane Clines. Again, that's the Independent Associate with Legalshield. Contact her today at 214-881-5225, or you can go to the website dsclines.ladiesofjustice.com, or just go to dsclines.com. Either or. Let's get back to the show. So yeah, it's all about knowing the game. You have to know what's going on so you can't end up in a situation like Steve Harvey was in. There's other situations. I'm basically gonna just pick this whole interview apart because this was the most educational interview I've heard since T.I. sat down with Tyler Perry. There was an instance in Steve Harvey's life where over a 7-year time span, the accounting that he had was paying no taxes. So I think he ended up being $22 million in debt. Now, this all goes with knowing the game and knowing what's going on in whatever it is you're doing. See, Steve was trustworthy. I don't know how long he had this accountant or whatever, but he was real trustworthy for real, because he didn't second guess or micromanage or go back and check to make sure after he signed the checks. He didn't go back to make sure that the checks cleared. He explained in the interview, he was like, okay, let's just say I had a $60,000 bill due. After I signed on the dotted line for the $60,000 left my bank. So I just thought the checks cleared the bank. But through whatever situation, the account died, and Mr. Harvey goes on to explain that the accountant's assistant walks in the office one day and calls Steve and say, okay, I have 7 years of your taxes right here in my hand, and nothing was ever done with them. Steve Harvey was in debt, $22 million. Baby. Again, I'm not going to say he didn't know the game, but even in knowing the game, you gotta second guess. You have to check, because you don't want to be in a situation where you think something is something, but then one day you realize what you think it is nowhere near. I'm pretty sure that never in a million years did Mr. Harvey ever think or feel that his accountant would basically mess him up like that. He was facing tax evasion and facing years in prison, probably life, according to $22 million. But he took all of these things that he learned early on and was able to apply the lesson to where he can come out now and actually talk about it to educate us. And I say us because I listened to it again today, I think for like the 4th or 5th or 6th time. You have to be able to not only be in business, but know your business. You have to know every aspect, because if you don't, people will tell you things that's not real. Or people would tell you that you're not good enough and go behind your back and basically do a carbon copy. Again, with Steve Harvey and Steve Harvey's Big Time and Showtime at the Apollo versus American Idol and America's Got Talent. If you go back and you look at some of those old shows of Showtime at the Apollo, and you go back and you look at the 2 years of Steve Harvey, the Big Time, and you look now at the shows that we have now, even those that have franchised off of American Idol and America's Got Talent, it's the same. Excuse me. It's the same exact show that Steve Harvey had, but he did not have the business behind it. It's very important. Again, and I sound repetitive, but I feel like if I said enough, it might get into your brain. If you don't know the business, you will lose, because you may have a day where you're not feeling it, and somebody can come and tell you, this is not going to work. But they're only telling you that it's not going to work because they've seen the other side of this, and they actually know that it's going to work. They believe it's going to work. They just don't want it to work for you, or they don't want to see you get ahead. So they'll discourage you or just tell you no. And then after you've gone and forgotten about it, then they backdoor you and they do what they do. That sucks. Why do people do that? I don't get it. But I guess people gonna be people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I guess, right? You're listening to the Intro Podcast. I definitely appreciate you guys for being a part of today's show. Again, it's sponsored by Diane Clines, an independent associate with Legalshield. Legalshield offers legal services starting at $29.95 and identity theft starting at $19.95. They offer services such as wills, living wills, moving violations, contract reviews, and consultations, and so much more. And it does not just cover you, the person, but it covers your partner and your kids up to a certain age. I don't want to get into the whatever about that, but you can definitely, for more information, go and contact Ms. Diane Clines at 214-881-5225 or visit dsclines.ladiesofjustice.com or dsclines.com. Just in case if that's too much to remember, just look in the description. All the information is right there. I'm excited that you guys decided to come and visit us or kick it with us listening to this show. Don't forget that these shows, we're going to be doing a lot of live shows, a lot of live tapings, which will basically go out to the world, and we want you to be involved. So with that being said, follow us on social media to know when we are going to be doing these live shows. On Facebook, you can find us at the Intro Podcast, or you can find us at the Intro Dallas Podcast. On Instagram, you can check us out at SMG Officially, and on Twitter at SMG Officially. On YouTube, right now, it's under Spotlight Universal Network, but we're going to change that also to the Intro Podcast, so that you guys will be able to know everything. And even on YouTube, we are live right now where people are able to chat with us. We are excited about all of the new ventures. We have changed our company. We are now a part of Spreaker, which is under the iHeart Radio banner. And I'm excited about the new possibilities that we have and the new ventures that we're going to have with them. Do me a favor. Let me go pay one more bill before we leave for the show, and then I'll be right back. It's your boy Taz. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz. You are listening to the Intro Podcast, and we are back. I am excited that you guys have decided to join us on today, whether you were a part of the live show chatting with us or you are listening on your own time. I appreciate it, and I really love you guys for it. I want to let you guys know before we go, I am learning that it is a lot of work talking by myself doing these shows, but I'm here for it and I love it. I have some really, really wonderful interviews coming up with a lot of some Dallas music artists and some of your more mainstream artists. Also, we are a platform that has been designed and carefully designed to be able to get you to the world. So if you are looking to sit down and talk with somebody, look, I want to talk to you. I need the world to know who you are, and I need the world to know what you do. So do me a favor, and you can send us an email at the intro podcast at gmail.com. That is the intro podcast at gmail.com. Do me a favor and tell a friend or a family member, share this particular podcast, whether you're sharing the YouTube clip or you are sharing the actual link to this particular show on Spreaker or on iHeart. Share this particular show with someone. I want you guys to, let me see what else. Oh, wait, I can't go. I gotta let you know. Hey, so me as a music artist, I am Travaine. I have some really dope music out right now. And I need you guys to do me a favor, and I need you guys to search it out. Listen, tell somebody about I Am Travaine. You can find my music right now on all platforms that you listen to your music on. That's I Am Travaine. That's I Am TREVAYNE. You could also find out more information by going to www.iamtravaine.com. Again, I appreciate you guys for checking out today's show. Those who have checked it out while we were live and those who are going to listen to it and just share it, I love you guys for it. If you are a business, you are a company, you are a brand, you are a ministry, you are a music artist, and you are looking to advertise, I want you on this show. I would like to have you advertise, sponsor a segment, or sponsor the entire show. I'm interested in knowing about you, and I'm pretty sure my listening audience is too. In the meantime, in between time, do me a favor, love one another. Hurt people. That's true, but healed people can heal people. Come on and do me a favor, find somebody and heal them. It's your boy Travaine, and this has been the Intro Dallas. I keep on saying Intro Dallas. It's not the Intro Dallas no more. It's the Intro Podcast. Hey, let's go.